I'm uncertain as to whether I've actually filmed any of this earlier or not. If I have, I can't find the films. So here we go. Another Airfix classic. 176 88mm gun and SD.Kfz.7 tractor. Nice little bit of artwork there. I made a couple of these when I was a kid, and I didn't usually buy duplicates. It was very good. And I made a start and I thought, oh, where are all the earlier films? Have I actually done any? So I've got this far. And I'll just show the little instructions. So there's this bit, the chassis, I suppose. I haven't put the wheels on yet because I'm waiting for that to dry, so that's the next two stages. Instead, I've moved on to the bodywork, so I've got that done, and half of that, so the seats are in, and that's it. So here we are, chassis upside down, just for gravitational purposes. That sits like that. Oops, that goes over the top. It's all been going well until now. There you go, sort of. There we are. Phew. And a little bit gluey, unfortunately. That seat wasn't happy, but we can sort that out with paintwork. So there we are so far. I really enjoy this model. I keep doing ones I enjoy. I need to branch out, don't I? But anyway, oh yeah, not tons of detail, but basic, straightforward and good fun. This is the first row or layer of wheels. They are the interleaved type. I'm really impressed by those, but apparently if you damage one, let's say, well, like one of these right at the back, you have to take off all the ones around it to get to it. We'll look at that in more detail on a bigger tank. Maybe, well, I think I've got a 1/35 Panther somewhere, that'll be fun. And there we have row 2. Oh, the back one's wonky, I have to straighten that up. And there's all 4 rows. They're a little bit wobbly. I'll give them a bit of a straighten up in a second. I thought it would get boring if I just show you each row one after another. And a lot of glue there because the parts of the chassis didn't quite want to fit wonderfully, so I'd kind of tacked it on and then added some glue afterwards to give it a bit of strength. Just a random event that's quite fun. The external wheels were sprayed brown, darker brown, so you can actually get an idea of the layers of different wheels. So you've got 4 in the central line, 3 at the front. So if the one right at the back goes, you've got a lot to deal with. Anyway, there they are, looking a bit gluey, but they're going to get weathered, so I won't worry about that right now. In fact, I might add some glue to make it look a bit mucky. And under the hull we see 1967, but quite why everything else has been smothered out, I don't know. Somebody else got their hands on this for a bit. I'll have to look on that interesting website called, oh, can't remember. Next, pushed out into the kitchen, we have the gun, the 88mm gun. And it looks to me as if all the parts are here. I've just had a go at sort of placing them together. The barrel needs a little bit of a clean up. Everything seems to be fine. But wait one moment, something's gone missing. It's the instructions for this bit. What's very interesting about the instructions for the vehicle is that here we are. We go from 1, 2, 3, 4, I know you can count, but all the way up to those bits, and no sign of the gun, and then we come to the end. So we've got the instructions for the vehicle but not for the gun. I don't know what's happened, so I'm going to have to just make it up as I go along. Work from memory. Here we go. So far so good. I could be delusional though, I suppose. This is the main thing I've got done right now, the base. It all seems to be okay, although I can't quite work out how the towing bar fits. So I'll plod on for the moment and see if things become apparent. There's no real way of there's no serious locating pin to fix the cradle for the gun onto the base, and equally I've just noticed there aren't any pins. There's a vague memory of a pin there on the block to hold the gun in place either. So thankfully I'm going to have it as one being pulled by the vehicle, so I can just glue everything up. I don't need the gun to be able to rotate or elevate, so that's all, you know, that's fine. But it looks as if really the mould for this one has had its day. So there we go, the end of the Airfix 88 by the look. Right, a few bits coming together. I worked out that that went on the wheel housing rather than on the end of the base where I thought it went originally. I've got these two bits largely. Oh no, that looks wonky on the camera. It isn't wonky in real life. That's weird. Yeah, so I've got those coming along bit by bit, and really it's just a case of putting these different sections together. So moving on, I think I'm getting it right. Small mistake on the junction between the gun and the mounting, so that explains why there weren't any fixing pins. It's getting better. I will get there. I don't think the gun will be going up and down, but that's alright. Right, so now I've got that bit on and the other side. Once that's dry, then the other side will go on. So in the meantime, I'm putting the wheels on. So that's the basics of the main part. Here's the, in effect, the axle, and there is the, that's quite a good angle. There's the axle in place. I have forgotten, I've just seen that, I've forgotten to put the suspension in. So just to show you what I should have done. A lot of glue and it'll all get a bit of a spray and a paint up. Cat's wanting attention again. So yeah, there's the suspension, then I'll put the wheels over, and there's the other side of the cradle, I suppose it is. There must be a really technical word for that. Anyway, slow progress. Oh! I've momentarily taken the side arms off because they're going to get in a tangle as I put the gun on. And I have put the shield on. So while things are drying, it's got a bit messy there because I got a few things wrong and I had to take them off. I can clean that up in a second and get the gun itself on, and then put the arms back on, then the wheels. Maybe the wheels first. Strangely, you only get 3 men and a driver. I'm sure you got more, to the point where I rummaged in a very old box, because I thought I had one, and here we have a bit of a wreck from my childhood. But look, 1, 2, 3, plus 2, plus probably another one there because the paint's come off the seat, and definitely one there, and the signs of glue for a driver, although the driver should be there. So they're more. Anyway, it seems like you got more, and therefore I'm going to break some off. Shadow's bad. You'll just notice I pulled this poor fella out with his seat included. But we'll get the others and then do something with this one. So what have I done there? That way round. So it's sharp? No. This is all right as a little model, actually. I think I did okay there. The camouflage is okay. The seat leather is a bit Morris Minor, nicely polished dark brown. So I'm going to glue that seat back in, the one that I broke out, and I'm going to repaint the seats, give it a little bit of a weathering. Because I've stolen the men, I'll see if I can find the 88 gun that goes with it, and then come up with some crew firing the gun and have this pulling away or something. So I don't know if I'll film that. Let's see how things go. But you know, it's not over for this little wagon yet. It's a little beauty, isn't it? The other thing I've noticed is I kind of did the right thing. As I was showing the crew, then I haven't got the canvas top and I've got the windscreen down. Whereas with the one I've just made, I've done the opposite, so you can't see all those crew members anyway. Oh, God, it's complicated, this, isn't it? Well, here it is. What's very interesting is I've lost almost all the markings to the weathering, particularly at the back. You can just make out, apart from me casting a shadow, you can just make out a little German helmet image. Oh, we've gone out of focus. Never mind. Just about there. And there's a number plate at the front. But there it is. Done. Bit of heavy-ish weathering, as I think I've been saying. I do need to start thinking about weathering, I reckon. I think I need to take that a bit seriously now. So we might get a bunch of mucky vehicles over the next few episodes. Yes. Oh, the figures, I've got them in. And it is a shame because they have got the lid on. But strangely, because of this little bit of flash, it clips on quite nicely. So we can enjoy both elements. But there they are. All 8 plus driver. And it came out alright in the end, despite the problem, various problems. Yes, there we are. An Airfix classic, probably in need of a retooling by now. But great, I do think that one's a good one. I always enjoy it, even though there are problems. And I do enjoy a good hum. And this is also why I didn't want to have... Oops, start again. And this is also why I didn't want to have any figures unnecessarily defining this little battle scene, because we can fit anybody on it now for a little bit of jolly film work to show off some models. Well, there we are, done all of a sudden. It's one of those that came together very quickly in the end once I'd worked out where all the bits go on the gun. So that was a struggle, and it's looking okay actually. There are things. Oh, I've just noticed the. Did you see the support for the barrel has sort of moved down slightly? It's not making contact with the barrel. Well, that's a blow. I can sort that out by breaking it. Yes. So here it is, done. Very enjoyable. Oh look, and the hook ain't joining up with the thing. That might be just where it's sitting on the warped plastic. Anyway, done. Good. Enjoyed it. I think I should have weathered the front tyres a little, and I should have done a wash on the men, and I should have made sure that the canvas top sat properly on the windscreen. So there's a lot of things I could have done, but anyway, it's kind of come together and it's okay, which is good given that things weren't fitting properly and it all looked a bit old. So yeah, that's a positive in many respects. I enjoyed it yet again. It is an Airfix classic, I think. It's nice to have a kind of two models in one as well. That was always enjoyable as a kid. It would be nice to have an active crew too, wouldn't it? For when the gun is unleashed, so to speak. Yeah, there we are. One thing I'm noticing now is that the colours on the screen that I'm looking at, nowhere near as good as they looked on the camera or in real life. I've noticed that in one or two before. I don't know what I can do about that. I'll have to fiddle around with the camera itself and see if I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I've got it on the wrong setting. So, good model. I've got a funny feeling I've got more tank things and not aircraft coming up for a bit. I'll have a search and I'll try and intermingle them a little, but I think we've got a few tanks on the way, one way or the other. So there we go. As ever, thank you all for watching, and thank you for the comments. I do read them. Life really is hectic at the moment, but I will get round to answering the ones that are really, pressing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back as soon as possible. Bye bye.